Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I'm absolutely pumped for this one. Today, we're diving into a corner of English grammar that honestly usually feels like a massive, tangled web. Yep, we're talking about determiners. If you've ever stared at a blank page and second-guessed yourself, like, wait, is it much or many, or what's the deal with a few versus few, well, you are exactly where you need to be. It seems overwhelming at first glance, but I promise you, once we unlock a few simple structural rules together today, it's going to feel totally effortless. We're essentially building a mental cheat sheet for you to take into literally any exam or writing assignment. All right, let's jump right in.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll meet the determiners. Second, articles and demonstratives. Third, ownership and numbers. Fourth, quantifiers and distributives. And finally, number 5, we'll wrap up with the memory cheat sheet.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Meet the Determiners.
So, what exactly is a determiner? Well, it's simply a word placed right before a noun to tell us which person or thing, whose it is, how many, or how much. Think of determiners kind of like royal heralds. They walk out in front of the noun and announce the really important details about what's coming next. For instance, if our noun is book, a determiner swoops in to give us the context. Is it a book, the book, my book, maybe these books, or even 5 books? Or if we're talking about something like water, is it some water? Words like a, the, my, these, some, and 5, they might look completely different, but they're all doing the exact same job.
And honestly, this perfectly illustrates our golden rule. If you remember literally just one thing from this first section, let it be this central mantra. A determiner tells us more about a noun. That's it. It's the anchor for everything else we're going to cover today.
Moving right along to Section 2, Articles and Demonstratives.
Okay, let's talk about articles, a, an, and the. We'll start with a versus an. We use a before a singular countable noun that begins with a consonant sound. Think a boy, a car, a book. On the flip side, we use an before a singular countable noun starting with a vowel sound, like an apple or an elephant. But, and listen up because this is a massive but, notice how I said vowel sound, not vowel letter. That distinction is everything.
And this brings us right to the classic trick questions test makers absolutely love to throw at you. Take the word university. It starts with the vowel U. But wait, we don't say an university, right? We say a university. Why? Because when you say it out loud, the pronunciation actually starts with a U sound, which is a consonant sound. Now look at the opposite, honest man. It starts with a consonant H, but that H is completely silent. The very first sound you hear is the O, a vowel sound. So we say an honest man, just like we'd say an hour. Remember, a and an are used according to sound, definitely not just spelling.
So, where exactly does the fit into all of this? Well, a and n are for when we're talking about one thing, but it's not specific. The, on the other hand, is for when we're talking about a very specific or already known person or thing. Imagine this scenario. I saw a dog. The dog was very cute. The first time we mention it, it's just any random dog, so we use a. But by the second time, you and I both know exactly which dog we're talking about, so boom, it becomes the dog. Oh, and we also use the for entirely unique things in the universe, like the sun, the earth, the moon, and famous geographical spots like the Ganga, the Himalayas, or the Taj Mahal.
Next up, we have demonstrative determiners. These are used to literally point out nouns. Mastering them comes down to asking just 2 super simple questions. How far away is it, and how many are there? If it's near to you and it's singular, you use this, like this book is mine. If it's far away and singular, you go with that. That house is beautiful. Now let's switch to plurals. Near and plural, you'd say, these books are mine. Far and plural, those houses are beautiful. Just lock those coordinates into your mind and you're good to go.
All right, let's roll into Section 3, ownership and numbers.
So, possessive determiners show ownership. We're talking about words like my, your, his, her, our, their, and its. My book, your pen, her bag. Very straightforward. But we really need to zero in on a major exam trap here. ITS versus IT apostrophe S. Okay, its without the apostrophe shows possession. For example, the dog is wagging its tail. The dog owns the tail. But its with an apostrophe literally just means it is, like it's raining. So the absolute crucial point here is do not confuse these two. A quick hack, if you can replace the word with it is, use the apostrophe. If you can't, it's our determiner showing ownership. Let's move on to numeral determiners. These give us the scoop on number or order, and there are two types you need to keep straight. Cardinal numbers tell us the total quantity, basically how many. 1, 2, 3, 5. I have 3 books. Ordinal numbers, on the other hand, tell us the position, or the order in a sequence. Think first, second, third, fourth. She stood first in the class. So cardinals count and ordinals order. Simple as that.
Okay, on to Section 4, Quantifiers and Distributives.
Quantifiers tell us about quantity or number when we aren't using exact numerals. Let's look at the first pair that always seems to trip people up. Much versus many. Much is used exclusively with uncountable nouns, things you literally cannot count as individual units. Much water, much money, much time, much information. You wouldn't say you have 3 waters or 5 informations, right? Many, however, is for countable plural nouns. Many books, many students, many people. The rule of thumb? If you can count it, use many. If you can't, use much.
Now, there is an absolute secret nuance here with few versus a few and little versus a little. First, just recall our last rule. Few is for countable things and little is for uncountable things. But here is the real magic trick. If you use few or little all by themselves, it actually means almost none. Like, I have few friends sounds pretty sad, right? It means I have almost no friends. There is little water means the bottle is practically bone dry. But simply add the letter A in front and it completely flips the meaning to some. I have a few friends means, hey, I have a solid group of some friends. There is a little water means we actually have some water available. Adding that tiny A gives you a positive amount. It's a real game changer.
Next up, we have our distributive determiners, each, every, either, and neither. Each looks at every individual separately. Every looks at all members of a group considered individually. Either means one of the two, and neither means not one and not the other. They seem a bit wordy, but honestly, the one critical rule you absolutely need to remember for exams is that these must all pair with a singular noun. It is each student, never each students. It's every student must attend. Either answer is correct, neither answer is correct. Always, always singular. Don't let them trick you. And finally, Section 5, the memory cheat sheet.
Let's do a rapid-fire review of what I call the core 4 pairs. If you can master just these specific contrasts, you're going to cover a massive portion of any determiner questions you'll ever face. Number 1, much is uncountable, many is countable. Number 2, few is countable, little is uncountable. Number 3, few means almost none, a few means some. And number 4, little means almost none, while a little means some. Lock those contrasts in right now.
When you sit down and actually look at a test, determiners are almost always tested through fill-in-the-blanks. So I want you to turn this into a super simple 2-step game. Let's say the blank is, there is blank water in the bottle. Step 1, look at the noun, it's water. Is it countable or uncountable? Uncountable for sure. Boom, you've just eliminated many and few from your options. Step 2, what's the intended meaning? If the context says we are super thirsty and have nothing to drink, the meaning is almost none, so the answer has to be little. But if it says we have enough to survive, the meaning is positive, so it's a little. Apply these 2 steps, and the right answer literally reveals itself every single time.
All right, let's do one final high-energy revision list to permanently lock these grammar rules into your memory. Ready? A and an, it's all based on sound, not spelling. The, it means specific or known. Much and little, uncountable. Many and few, countable. And each, every, either, neither. Always, 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 followed by a singular noun.
We started today by learning that a determiner simply tells us which person, whose, how many, or how much. It's the word that introduces the noun. And wow, look how far we've come. You've decoded the sounds, the quantities, and the distributive rules. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you hold the ultimate grammar cheat sheet, how many perfect scores are you going to unlock on your next exam? Go dive into some practice questions and test out this new superpower. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.